One of the most disappointing things for Donald Trump in the 2 weeks that his trial has been going on is not the pathetic performance of his own lawyers. It's not, of course, the constant gag order violations that are going to result in him possibly going to jail early. No, his biggest disappointment throughout this entire trial has been that virtually none of his supporters have shown up to protest the charges against him. Donald Trump wanted a circus outside of that courtroom, but instead he had to settle for a handful of clowns. That's what he's gotten this week. Multiple times, at least 3 different times this week alone, Donald Trump has gotten on Truth Social and begged his supporters to show up in full force, get out there, be in front of the courthouse, show me that you love me. And after all those pleadings, he had 5. 5 people showed up to protest the charges against him this week. 5. That is the biggest crowd he has had this week. Last week, of course, on the opening day of the trial, he had about 50. So, that's definitely better than 5, but still way lower than what he wanted. So he's losing it. But he contends, obviously. These people are not showing up, not because they don't love him, but because, they're worried about going to New York City, he says, because of all the crime, right? Crime is just everywhere in New York City, right? You can't even walk down the street, just crime, crime, crime. Everybody's getting murdered left and right, even though crime rates in New York City are actually falling. There's not rampant crime everywhere. That is a right-wing talking point that has no basis in reality. And yet, Donald Trump is still pushing it to say that that's why his people are not showing up. No. In fact, I have a theory about why Donald Trump's supporters are not showing up in droves. And it's due to the fact that the last time a very large group of Trump supporters got together, more than 1,000 of them got arrested for storming the Capitol. They know, and you got to give them credit for at least understanding this, they know that when they all get together in one group, it doesn't go very well for them, right? They kind of get into that whole groupthink thing and start making some really bad, horrific, life-altering decisions that a lot of them will later come to regret. So that could be weighing very heavily on their minds right now. Like, do we want to do this? Like, what if somebody gets amped up and then I get drawn into it, and then next thing we know, we're all heading in the paddy wagon down to the station house? Probably not exactly the kind of thing that's going to attract a lot of people. But I think the bigger reason people are not showing up is because they simply don't care. It's not worth their time. Do I really want to take off work? Do I want to buy a plane ticket? Do I want to sit on a bus for 16 hours to get there? No, he's not worth it. And that's the part that's driving him insane. He knows it's not because of the crime. He knows it's not because they have to be across the street instead of right in front of the courthouse. He knows that people are not showing up because he's not worth their time. And that is what is driving him the most crazy. Again, he wanted a circus, but instead, he ends up looking like the clown. Today's video sponsor is Aura Frames. Folks, Mother's Day is, of course, right around the corner, and Aura Frames make the perfect gift for mothers, grandmothers, and really any family member or friend that you want to share photos with. Aura Frames are digital picture frames that allow you to easily upload and share unlimited amounts of photos with family and friends. From grandmothers to new mothers, aunts, and even the friends in your life, every mom loves an Aura frame. Named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter and selected as one of Oprah's favorite things, Aura frames are guaranteed to bring joy to moms of all ages. And you don't have to be a tech wizard to set these things up either. You download the app, you plug in the picture frame, and you take it from there. We set these up. I recently got 3 Aura frames in my home. We set them up in under 10 minutes. And these things are gorgeous looking frames too. We have one on our mantle. We have one on the table in our foyer. And we gave one to my daughter, 13 years old. She actually figured out how to set it up in half the time that we took. So again, Anybody can set these up. You do not have to be, a Bill Gates type understanding everything about tech to make it happen. And right now, Aura has a phenomenal offer for our viewers. You can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's auraframes.com, and use code ROF at checkout to save. Certain terms and conditions do apply.